Now entering the atmosphere of Planet Zero. Scanning for signals. Incoming broadcast. Shift destination. VSS Page Turner. Begin transmission.
Welcome back to the book club from Planet Zero.
Hey, I'm here too.
It's me, your host, as always, Christian.
And I'm Eric, by the way.
I've always talked like this.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
I can't turn them off or anything.
They continuously edit my voice to sound normal once we release it, but I've been asking them to stop.
Yeah, we also ran out of money too for that, so we had to sacrifice some things in the budget. So here's Christian at his prime state right now.
Hey, it's me, George Lucas. I don't want to put Jar Jar in it.
George Lucas, you're here today?
George, get out of the studio! You can't make me. I made Star Wars.
He did make Star Wars.
Did make Star
Wars. Can you imagine?
I like how we got into the studio today, Eric, and you were like, "Man, last episode we went on a lot of tangents," and then this episode starts with
just a total tangent fuckery.
Absolute nothingness. We're back. We're here. We're queer. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Doom Patrol, and by a little bit more, I mean that's all we're gonna talk about.
That didn't rhyme with queer. Let's just talk about Doom Patrol here.
We're here. We're queer. I'm going to make this clear. This episode is all about Doom Patrol.
You hear?
You hear?
You hear?
So last time on Doom Patrol...
We should be in a band.
We are in a band.
This is kind of a band. Yeah, last time.
On Doom Patrol.
On the Doom Patrol.
We
talked about Ape-Faced Girl. We talked about Red Jack. And
we finished talking about Red Jack.
Yeah.
And now it's time to talk about Ape-Faced Girl and Josh.
We got to talk about that one.
We don't have to.
Okay.
But it does happen.
It's a very important scene for our favorite character.
A little egg baby.
So if you don't know, Dorothy Spinner is a little girl who joins the Doom Patrol team, and she has, as we say,
an ape face.
Why does she look like that? Well, it has nothing to do with her powers. That's just how she was born. And she has this power to manifest her imaginary friends.
Yep.
She got from the metagene.
That's her metagene.
Yeah, she didn't have this before the metagene because she made an appearance in Doom Patrol before. But then Chief found out and was all like, "Wait, Ape-Faced Girl, kind of want that on my team." And then he finds out that she has imaginary friends that come to life. Like, oh, I need this girl.
No, I think he got her as something to keep Josh preoccupied because Josh was like, "I want to join your team." Like we talked about it last episode where Calder asked Josh to join the team, and then Josh was like, "I don't know, man. I don't think I can do that." And then Calder sees Robot Man and Crazy Jane hanging out, and Rebus, and he's like, "Oh, those are my freaks. I need my freaks. That's my starting string of freaks." And then Josh comes back to him and is like, "You know what? I will join your team." And Calder's is like, "Shut up. I got my freaks already. You can hang out at the base if you want to, but just keep quiet."
No, he's the medical guy.
Yeah. And then so Calder's like, if I don't get this guy a pet or something, he's going to bother me all the time. So then he gets Dorothy Spinner, Ape-Faced Girl, to hang out.
Stop calling her a pet. She's a member of the team. She has rights in the cafeteria and all, like everything else.
She's the auxiliary team.
Oh, yeah. The home team.
The auxiliary team. Because there is a point in the book where like the team doesn't come back and like Calder's like, "You guys might have to go out on the field with me." And I'm going to use you straight up as cannon fodder.
Do you think Chief just surrounds himself with freaks just to make himself feel better?
I don't think so. I think,
or do you think he is a freak himself?
I think he likes freaks.
A collection of freaks.
Yeah, I think he's like a circus.
Nothing like
ringleader.
Nothing like Professor X, who
Professor X
is actively trying to help people.
Yeah, he's trying to integrate. I'm not going to call mutants freaks because I think that's offensive.
Yeah.
But those guys, the Doom Patrol.
The Doom Patrol people are freaks.
Well, they weren't born that way. That's the difference.
They become that way. Well, maybe Dorothy Spinner.
If you were born that way, you're not a freak. But if you're a freak after birth, you're a freak. What can I say? If you're a freak at birth, you're not a freak. Freak. I'm going to keep saying freak until you start talking about this.
So pretty much, Calder did not tell Josh at all that, hey, this chick has imaginary power. So all of a sudden, Josh and Dorothy just hanging out, and all these monsters start coming out of nowhere, freaking Josh out.
Well, I like that there's a part before this where she tells him that she can do this kind of stuff, but that she killed all of her imaginary friends with an imaginary shotgun.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
She's like, I used to have imaginary teachers.
teachers
Until they started telling me to cut people, so I had to kill them. And he's like, "How'd you kill imaginary
They kept
friends?
telling me to flay the dog's skin, so I had to kill him.
How'd you do that?" And he's like, "Well, that imaginary gun, duh."
Duh.
That makes sense though.
And then Josh is like, okay. And then he starts getting attacked by like
Ink blobs.
ink blobs.
It's messed up.
Yeah, but basically this entire issue is Josh being his little like therapist self and coaching Dorothy that like it's all in your head. It's all in your head.
Oh, there's also the current Doom Patrol headquarters is in excuse me,
Space
in,
Mountain.
Rhode Island, Happy Harbor. You ever heard of that place?
Yeah.
It's Happy Harbor. It's the original place, the original headquarters of the Justice League, and it later becomes the headquarters of Young Justice. And is the hometown of Red Tornado.
Wait, Red Tornado has a hometown?
His base of operations is Happy Harbor, Rhode Island. You like that?
No.
He has a town. He actually has a daughter. Did you know that?
I did know that he has a daughter.
Yeah, I'm not even looking into that. I'm gonna read the comics.
You're not gonna look into. You're just gonna read the comics.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna look how that.
Isn't that
happened.
looking into that though?
Well, I won't do research. I'm just gonna go ahead and just go in at like free basin. You know.
That's fair. That's fair. Free Basin, Red Tornado.
So the teachers that taught Dorothy to kill dogs or whatever, do heinous things, are now back.
She's the son of Sam.
They're trying to make her wear these red slippers. Because Dorothy, Wizard of Oz.
She's gonna dance until her feet fall off.
Yeah, these shoes supposed to represent puberty or some shit like that. I don't care about
Yeah,
that.
it's a bad issue. Anyways, next issue.
It's pretty fun, but it's something
Next
like
issue.
you should probably read it to get to.
Yeah,
to
but we're
understand
here
it.
to talk about a couple of friends, a couple of goons,
Oh,
a couple of gals.
Freaks. We talked about freaks earlier. These are freaks.
These no.
Like I'm comfortable calling these people freaks
Why?
in the next this next issue.
What are you talking about? So this issue starts with what is this guy's name?
Sunburst. He's a Japanese superhero.
He's the Japanese superhero. He's
Okay,
got a manga and an anime series about him, and
He's the most popular.
he's
but
got a camera crew following him around for a reality TV show, The Adventures of Sunburst.
like, he's not the superhero,
Yes,
but he
he
is the
is.
most popular superhero.
That makes him the superhero. Superman is the superhero
yeah.
of the world. Of America?
No, he got rid of his American citizenship.
When?
Oh, I forgot. Sometime in the mid 2000s.
Okay. But anyways, these guys are going Sunburst is going to go talk to this lady who is what is she? She's afraid of germs?
Yeah, there's this lady who had got hit by the metagene bomb is affecting her, and she's also like a freaking dirt phobe. So
we're going into the Brotherhood of Dada.
if you haven't guessed already,
The Brotherhood of Dada is a group of supervillains put together by Morden.
Eric Morden. That's me.
Eric Morden,
No.
who was a part of the original Brotherhood of Evil.
So he originally appeared in like the one issue. Like that's all.
He
was
built
just
a robot.
Yeah, you build a robot that him and Mala piloted to fight the Doom Patrol, but it got defeated easily.
Yep.
And like that was it. You didn't see him at all. You saw Mala again. But he was supposed to be just this one-off villain, whatever. Like there's a lot of villains like that in the Golden and Silver Age where he's just a regular human with a regular name. So, but Grant Morrison was all like, I'm going to take that one character that nobody remembers and give him godlike powers.
Who do you mean, Mr. Nobody?
Mr. Nobody.
Yeah, so
Freak.
He goes around and he collects
Other meta powered individuals
who are freaks.
He
He Calders it. He basically Niles Calders
does his
it.
own little freak.
He does his own Niles Calder. So the first one he recruits is Sleeper.
Sleepwalk. She's this British woman who becomes powerful when she's only asleep.
She gains super strength, right?
Yeah, super strength.
Yeah, when she's asleep. And then Sleepwalker attacks this Japanese hospital where the quiz is being held.
This Japanese lady called the Quiz, who her superpower is, get this, she has all the superpowers that you haven't thought of.
She has all the superpowers that you haven't thought of. So if you can think of the superpower while fighting her, she loses it.
She does not have that power.
That's why they call her the Quiz, because you got to think of all the superpowers.
On the spot, dude. That's insane. That's like a JoJo
and you have to
character.
say them out loud.
I don't think you have to say them out loud.
You have to shout them at her.
But
No, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I like her design because like she's like this petite Japanese woman, but like her costume is like makes her look like this bulky, towering man.
It's scary. I don't like it.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like she can move in it either.
It's like a containment suit with a cross with like a bondage suit too. It's weird.
Yeah, it's because she's afraid of dirt, so they put her in a hazmat suit of sorts.
It's
so
amazing.
That she wouldn't freak out when she's out and about. And then the last guy.
Well, there's two more guys. The Fog.
Oh, I always forget about the Fog.
Yeah, because he's just a puff of smoke most of the time.
I hate him.
Oh, what? He's
icky.
He has the puff of smoke. He has the ability to transform into a fog that can absorb people. But the thing is, when he absorbs people,
they stay in there.
Those people still have a consciousness, and they're constantly like talking to him, and he has to constantly tell them to shut up while he's making these plans with the Brotherhood.
And then
Frenzy,
which is a weird name for a guy with cyclone powers.
Oh yeah, he's this homeless dude that fucking Mr.
Illiterate homeless dude.
That Mr. Nobody's plucked off the street because he set fire to a building.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I like you, and you also have
I like
a meta
your style.
power.
And also, you can create typhoons.
Yeah, if you guys don't, if you guys watch the TV show Doom Patrol, he was that guy from season 3 with bicycle wheels on his back of it. On his back.
He has those in the book too. It's part of his costume though. It's not like
it's not part of him though.
Yeah, in the show it's part of him, which is weird.
I don't understand how that works, but yeah.
I think in the show it's implied that all of them were experiments of the Bureau of Normalcy.
Yeah.
Because they were all hanging out at the Bureau of Normalcy when what's her name, Madame Rouge meets them in the show. Remember?
Yeah.
And then she starts hanging out with them, and they're like, "Don't hang out with us. We're freaks." And she's like, "I'm a freak too." And then she creates the Sisterhood of Dada in the show.
The Sisterhood of Dada, yeah.
With the Brotherhood of Dada. Oh.
They're better.
Oh, they're way better because it's got Mr. Nobody in it.
I know, right? They had Mr. Nobody in the show, but they didn't bring him in.
They brought him in too early.
So what are these freaks up to?
What are they up to? What's their goals? What are their plans?
Well, they're not evil nor good. They're just weird.
They're Dada.
Do you know what Dada is?
It's like it doesn't really have any meaning.
Yeah, it's a art movement. It's like a art style, I guess. Just has no meaning. Weird.
It's meant to be devoid of meaning, and that gives it meaning or something like that.
Wow.
I'm not an artist. I'm an autist.
Well, but I saw you draw a penis on the bathroom walls before. You know.
Yeah, I'll draw a penis here and there on a bathroom wall, but outside of that, I don't really do much art. But he gathers up these freaks, just like
I love
Calder.
saying that.
What freaks?
Yeah.
It's a good word. You should use it more often in your daily life.
They steal a painting
That's right. Their goal is to steal a painting that eats everything that looks at it.
Yeah, it can devour things, which they stole from a collector.
And they take it to Paris because they want Paris to be eaten by the painting. They want everything to be eaten
by the painting. Freaks.
But they go to Paris and they have the
they started like they're under the Eiffel Tower and they're setting up this show and people are like laughing and pointing at them because they're dressed funny.
Yeah.
But then
they look like they're wearing children's bed sheets, all of them. Like Frenzy and the Quiz both look like they're just wearing like weird, wacky. She looks like a Riddler.
Yeah, the green outfit
the
and the
outfit with question marks all over it.
Yeah,
that's the Quiz, baby.
I think there is a Riddler sidekick character named Quiz because he had like 2 babes with him sometimes. The Riddler.
Maybe that's her.
No, it's not her.
Okay, if you say so.
So they suck up Paris, and in the process,
dude, this is my. Let me see this.
They suck themselves up as well.
I love this image so much because like they do all this work to suck up Paris into this painting, and we watch it happen. And they're like celebrating it. They're like, "Oh, it works! It works!" And then the last page of the fucking comic is them celebrating in the room that's in the painting.
Yeah, the last panel of the page like zooms out, and you see them stuck in the painting as well. But they're still celebrating, like yeah.
See, like when this happened, like it's so funny because this entire issue, I think it's 2 issues almost, right?
Yeah, about 2 issues of Dada doing stuff.
It's 2 issues of them getting the painting, right?
I think the first issue is them getting together. The next issue is the painting stolen.
Oh, I love these guys. Look at these goofy little guys.
We should probably cosplay as them at some point.
Who would you be?
I'll be Frenzy.
I'll be the Cloud.
Or maybe the Quiz.
The Quiz?
So how can I walk in that thing?
You shuffle along, yeah. So the first issue is Mr. Nobody getting the team together. And he first initially calls it the New Brotherhood of Evil.
Yeah.
gives them his backstory where he was hanging out with a Nazi who put him in a
Some kind of just experiment, just an isolation chamber.
where
Until he
there's
went-
nothing in there until he went crazy.
Yeah, went crazy and got godlike powers.
Do you think this is the meta gene? No.
He definitely has a meta gene.
Oh, for sure. Look at him.
Look at him. You ever just look at a
God.
freaking DC like, oh, that guy's meta genes.
He looks like Paperclip from MS Word.
Yeah, I always think he also looks like a question mark head, kind of.
Oh, I see that. Okay, I like the heart on his chest. He's basically Mr.
Heartless.
Nobody. Looks like you're always seeing him from the corner of your eye. That's his design. He's like he's literally just a shadow of a man with gloves. You don't like it's not a full silhouette of his head. It's never really a full silhouette of his arm or anything. It always looks like there's pieces of him missing, which is interesting. But basically, he gets them all together. He's like, sleepwalk, the fog, frenzy, God bless them, everyone. And then he's like, we're going to be the Brotherhood of Evil. And then he's like, actually, we're not the Brotherhood of Evil. Good, evil, outmoded concept for an antique age. And then he's like, we'll be the Brotherhood of Dada.
Yeah, so they all go along with it.
Yeah, because they're all dumb.
I like it.
I think the only one who isn't dumb is the fog.
But he goes along with
But
it.
he's just a bad person.
Yeah.
I think the other ones are just stupid.
Yeah, he does seem the guy who has his head on right.
And then issue 2 that we have with the Brotherhood of Dada is them, getting
Stealing
the painting
from this rich
It's actually really
collector.
cool because you get to see him do a heist.
Pretty much what happened, yeah.
Yeah, they plan a heist. They do a heist. Oh, Rebus and Robot Man talk a little bit in this issue too.
The quiz transforms 2 guards into like glass statues.
Yep.
And it was like, well, of course you can do that. It's our superpower.
You didn't think of that. You didn't think of
You
turning
didn't,
guards
you didn't
into
think I
glass
can do that,
statues.
kid, did you? So like after they ran away with the painting,
The collector's like, ooh, these
you
are
ju-
nice.
did you just say 2 glass? Yeah, the guard ran up to them and was all like, "Sir, like the 2 guards just turned into glass statues." It's like complete glass. Maybe today wasn't a total loss. I'm like, what an
It's
ass.
like, yeah, I lost a painting that can destroy the entire world,
But 2 men made out of
2
glass.
men made out of glass.
Put them in the vault.
Put them in the vault.
It's so freaky.
Go get them in the vault. And then the next issue is the people actually dealing with Paris disappearing.
Oh, how'd you pop when the JLI comes in?
I popped hard,
You
dude.
got Blue Beetle and Booster Gold and Animal Man.
They're all there. The freaks of the Justice League.
Oh, you're just missing Mr. Miracle and like you got the Bro Squad right
I like
there.
that Grant Morrison put Animal Man in it.
Yeah, because he worked on Animal Man before.
I mean, you gotta, right? Like, especially, I feel like
It's a good. It's like so. This little scene is a good good way to show us like how the Justice League and superhero community and in general like views the Doom Patrol as like weirdos.
you must be Robot Man, and you must be the guy who states the obvious.
This is the painting, yeah. He just completely
Robot Man's my boy.
ignores Animal Man. And then like Crazy Jane like turns into Hammerhead for a second and like antagonizes Booster Gold. And she switched back like, oh no, it's fine. It was just my.
Yeah,
other
she was like, "Don't worry, Hammerhead's always like that." And Booster Gold's like, "What the fuck?
whoa.
Yeah, this bitch crazy." And it's like, that's why they call her Crazy Jane. And then they jump into the photo.
They jump into the freaking
They
painting.
do a blue skidoo. You can too.
We can too. Yeah.
I love how Rebus is just always floating around with their hands in their pocket.
I like that. I like characters like that who float.
It's my homie.
So they're in the painting now.
Yep.
Sucks. Well, what they go well as they
This
go.
is the anime fight.
This is pretty anime. As they go down in the painting, different worlds represent different
first they
styles of
get-
paintings,
yeah,
which I
first-
think is pretty cool.
First, they're in the room, and Frenzy blasts them all into different portions of the painting.
That's that's an anime moment. Let's split up the group so they can have one-on-one fights. I like that.
He said, "Divide and conquer, man. Divide and conquer."
Divide and conquer.
Robot Man fights Mr. Nobody in an
Well, he meets Mr. Nobody first because that's like the only member of the squad that knows that would know Eric Morton.
yeah. And he's in the impressionist department
Yeah,
where everything's an impression of what real life looks like. Rebus gets
futurist,
locked in the multicolored futurist
and then
and has to fight the quiz,
Crazy Jane's in surrealism where
Crazy
she has
Jane
to
is
fight the fog.
the fog. And he doesn't fight. Robot Man doesn't actually fight
He always gets his ass kicked. he
Mr.
got
Nobody,
torn
he
up.
fights Sleepwalk.
Yeah, Robot Man got torn up by Sleepwalk. That's funny. And then Rebus tries to think of all these superpowers as he's fighting she's fighting the quiz, which I think was a bad. I think they did a poor job listing off all basic superpowers and whatever.
He goes flight, super strength, telepathy, heat vision, X-ray.
But they forgot about
Dematerialization. Where is she? Underground. There. Release the spirit. Invulnerability, force fields, teleportation, heat vision. We did that one. I'm sure we did. And then she puts him in. And
she puts the spirit in a jar, and she was all like, "You forgot about the power that can trap your negative spirit," which is like
super breath, telescopic vision, sonic powers, super speed, metamorphosis, super. Oh, you forgot the power to create escape-proof spirit jars.
Jars.
And she says that. My favorite thing is she says that in Japanese, so I'm sure he doesn't know what she said to him just then.
And then Crazy Jane turns into a personality that's like just pure water that that the fog couldn't absorb.
Yeah.
But of course he like waited out and she went back to being Crazy Jane.
But that was actually a bad idea because when he eats Crazy Jane, there's too many psyches.
Yeah. So all 64 person. Well,
it's like when you're already full at the all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant.
Yeah, and then they brought out the pizza. And you're like, how do they make pizza?
Yeah, you know that they're going to charge you extra for that pizza if you don't eat it all. So you eat all the pizza in one bite.
It's
and
when
then you throw up everything.
Yeah. So because he already all these people are already like talking in his mind. Now he added about like 60 plus personalities in there. He gets a real headache. So he spits Jane out and passes out. But
God, I love these freaks. Also, the art in this book is just so good.
But in the end, Robot Man gets killed.
Gets his heart ripped out.
His heart. Well, it's a tank that
his tank of nutrients. His nutrient tank.
His brain nutrients tank.
Yep. And then the Brotherhood of Dada wins.
They win.
They beat the Doom Patrol.
They really did beat the Doom Patrol.
And Mr. Nobody's like, oh yeah, we beat the Doom Patrol. But then Sleepwalk starts freaking out and is like, it's the fifth horseman of the apocalypse. We release the fifth horseman of the apocalypse.
Wow, way to be a buzzkill, Sleepwalk.
Yeah. And then Mr. Nobody has to be like, well, guess we gotta resurrect the Doom Patrol.
Oh yeah. So what happens is the fog wakes up. Sleepwalk tells them about a dream about the fifth
because the
horseman.
fog hasn't made it back yet with Crazy Jane.
Then they meet up the fog who was passed out, and the fog was like, yeah, I had the same dream too about a horseman. And that's when Crazy Jane wakes up and be like, hey, this painting was meant to trap an entity that was not supposed to come out of this world.
That will end all of
it.
reality.
Will end the world the moment it will step out of this painting. The fifth horseman. And you all know the four horsemen. You got war.
Well, this is the fifth.
Yeah, you got war, famine, death. How was that one?
Pestilence.
Yeah. And the fifth one that nobody talks about is oblivion, or just
the end. Yeah, nothing. It's a giant horse.
It's a giant horseman. Yeah,
they find a giant horse.
Look at them investigating. They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing.
Brotherhood. So yeah, after finding out that a horseman that can end all times is coming out, the Brotherhood of Dada resurrects Robot Man, frees the spirit for Rebus so they can come back to life, and they all got to work together to figure out how to fight this thing. Which is, I'll probably shit my pants if I saw a thing coming out of the water. There's a scene where in the surrealist world that looks like a Dali painting. And they just come, and the horseman just comes out of the freaking water. It's fucking scary.
Oh, right. This one? Hold on. Wow, wow, wow. Wee, wee, wee.
Oh, yeah. That I would not know how I feel if a horse come out of the ocean like that.
That's a big horse, says Mr. Nobody.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
But he does kind of care. So what happens is that this horseman is traveling through all the dimensions of art and is pretty much gaining power through the art and what they represent and all that stuff. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe an art major would probably be better at this.
It's basically gaining power as it's ripping through the different layers of the painting. And there's one point where I think it's who Jane just goes after, right?
Yeah, what happens is that Jane somehow immediately figures out what to do. So she teleports herself as Flint, her personality, into like the heart of the horseman, which is just like because it's just a rib cage with a bird cage hanging in there. So she teleports in there.
I found Crazy Jane explaining it. She goes, "Look, it's entering this level now. This symbolist world will supercharge the horseman with enormous iconic energies."
Wow,
it's becoming an icon. And then Robot Man goes, how are you supposed to fight that?
Yeah, he's like, all you can do is punch Robot Man. I feel bad for him. He has no idea what to do. So Jane teleports herself into the Horseman's heart, which is a bird cage, so she can try to guide it away from the painting, but she's not powerful enough. So what does Mr. Nobody come up with? We should all hold hands.
Yeah, he says, we got superhuman energy to spare. We should all hold hands and send it to her.
We should all hold hands. Doesn't that be fun? It's the end of times.
He says, she can't control. This is Rebus. Rebus goes, they're plunging through a Faustist world, gathering rage and violent energy, gathering speed. She can't control the horse. She doesn't have the strength. It's rising through the levels towards the real world. And Robot Man, what are we going to do? We can't just stand here. And then Mr. Nobody, I know. We all have superpowered energy to spare, don't we? So why not join hands and send it to her? Let's have a groovy lovin'.
Robot Man is all
Robot's like, you're nuts. He's like, instead of fighting, we all join hands like Ebony and Ivory living together on the piano. It's so embarrassing. It has to work. You ever have a plan that's so embarrassing it has to work?
Yeah, it makes sense. At least for them. Oh yeah, it's not supposed to make sense. My bad. But then Robot Man's about to punch it, but then like Rebus is like, actually, that's a good idea. Let's all hold hands and like help Jane guide the horsemen. And they're like, where are we supposed to guide them? And that's when they figured out the Dada world, the Brotherhood of Dada's old plane, where nothing makes sense. You know, logic is for...
Well, because the horseman, he figures out that the horseman is gaining power from the meaning behind each art form.
Yes.
The raw, feeling that each art form is supposed to convey is giving the horseman more and more power each time it goes through another meaning of art. And he figures that out and he goes, send it to the Dada world.
Send it to the Dada world.
And then we cut back for a moment with the Justice League International.
They got the more superheroes are coming.
Superman shows up.
Yeah, Superman. They have no idea what to do. They got to bring Superman in, which
you say Paris just disappeared into the painting? Yeah, and then the Doom Patrol went in after it. Superman's like, oh, we're fucked.
The Doom Patrol. Oh, but in the end, it worked.
Yeah, it did. They pop out.
What happens? The horseman pops out first, and it's just like one of those like rocking horses.
Yeah,
which is great. What a great way to kill off an entity.
And it's time and then the painting is about to be like destroyed, so it's time for everyone else to get out of the painting. But the Brotherhood of Dada decides to stay behind.
Yeah, because Mr. Nobody was all like, I must go down with the ship. And then the rest of the guys like, you know what?
Us too.
This man told us how to be people again. He taught us how to be, ourselves. And then like, it's like, if he's going down, we're going down with him. And then Mr. Nobody's all like, oh, I feel so loved. But to tell you guys the truth, that was all a joke. I was never, and then they die. The painting collapsed and they're stuck in there, which is great. So now the Brotherhood of Dada is stuck in their painting world, which is fine because they're actually having a good time. They're in the Dada world, right? Right.
Yeah. He goes, Lloyd, I was only joking when I said that. I don't actually want to. And then the painting explodes. What a bunch of buffoons.
We're going to see them again.
I love that.
I can't wait to see them again. But that whole ordeal put Crazy Jane
in a coma. Crazy coma. Crazy coma. It's like Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, but
Crazy Jane.
Crazy coma.
That's the Crazy Jane video game. It's called Crazy Coma.
This is just this reminds me. This is like the episode from the show where Cliff has to go into her psyche.
Oh yeah.
So
because this is basically none of the personalities want to come up from the railroad and take over the body of the woman.
Yeah, the Crazy Jane was like the personality to be like the anchor for everyone.
Yeah,
pretty much like pilot the body. Because no other personality can pretty much like live normally.
Like Jane.
Yeah. Well, she's pretty much the sanest one out of all of them.
Well, that's ironic because her name is crazy.
Crazy.
But yeah, so they take Robot Man's brain out of his body, and Rebus grabs it.
He touches it. Rebus just grabs it
with their hand, and then
touches Jane's head.
Yep.
And
touches Jane's hand. He grabs her hand. Oh,
so it acts as like a gateway into her psyche.
So that Robot Man could go down into Crazy Jane's brain.
So Crazy Jane's pretty much says that her head's she calls her headspace the underground, which
It's
is
like a big metro.
big metro where like each person has their own stop. The person piloting the train is driver 8.
Driver 8 brings up the personalities to the surface. Who knows Cliff and is friends with Cliff.
Oh yeah.
Driver 8 and Cliff hang out a
Yeah,
lot.
Cliff has talked to some of these personalities, so he's cool with them. Some of them.
Some of them he's not cool with. So this is basically just like Driver 8 taking him through every different little stop, trying to find all the personalities, explaining that none of the personalities want to go up. They also go over the concept of the well,
The well.
which is where personalities go to die.
Yeah.
Um,
Pre-trauma. And that's where Crazy Jane's going. She's in such a shock state that she's going to plunge herself into the well, which is pretty much a suicide. Pretty much kills off that personality.
Yep. And then they're trying to get to the well, but they get stopped by pretty much every single personality.
They don't trust Cliff because he is a man.
That's true. Even though earlier in the books they talked about how there were several personalities that were men.
Male traits. They have male traits. But yeah, no, they don't trust actual men. But then Robot Man's all like, "I'm not a man. I'm
I don't
a
got
robot."
no
He
penis.
starts stripping his clothes. I'm
He
a
does.
robot.
He does get naked. It's really
Do
funny.
you remember how they do this in the TV show?
How?
The fucking what's that? The personality with the claw and the
Black
anise. Yeah, pretty much gropes fucking Robot Man's crotch. And it was like, ding. I was like, yes, you are not a man.
You can go fight.
Yeah,
Jane.
which I think one in the book it makes it more powerful, but yeah.
Ooh, but yeah, he goes to the well where
Jane's about to throw herself in there.
and then Jane's dad.
Yeah, you find out that Jane's dad, which is kind of like supposed to be like another personality, like her pretty much her dad became like another.
Her dad's a trauma that haunts her personalities in the underground and in the well.
Yes.
That's how it kind of works. And then Robot Man helps Jane.
Oh, yeah.
This is basically the same issue as the issue with Josh and Ape Face Girl,
What?
where he's like, "It's all in your head. I'm in your head. I'm in your head right now."
Isn't it great?
It's pretty good. They're all helping each other get better. But
Unlike the TV show where they constantly
are
antagonize
they're
each
jerks
other.
to each other in the TV show.
They love each other in the
TV
show, but they're completely jerks.
And then Robot Man's brain isn't coming back online.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Well, that's why they
Cliff?
need a new body.
Cliff. But while they get a new body, they get Will Magnus to come make him a new body, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't like this new body.
You don't like this body?
It's ugly.
It's like a pitch black body.
with like 3 red stripes across the chest.
It looks high tech.
He likes it. He can feel.
Yeah, and he can now feel stuff. He can smell and he can touch
taste, he can
things.
feel. He can
What,
blink.
what happens in this issue? I forgot what. I know they go on a mission while he's like.
This is the beginning of the cult of the unwritten
Oh
book.
my lord, these guys!
The cult of the unwritten book.
I kind of don't want to get too deep into these guys.
What do you mean? We got time.
Do we?
We got plenty of time.
All right.
Yeah, we got like 20 minutes to talk about these dudes.
It's so much. Oh,
Is it a lot?
It's a lot of info, man. They gotta. Well, I think so. They
Tell
got.
me about it. Do you think? Look, it's Dorothy trying to be hot. You think it's working?
No, she was.
Maybe I should dye my hair. Dude, you got an ape face.
You're so mean.
I don't think dyeing your hair is gonna help, kid.
So, this John Constantine knockoff called Willoughby. What's his name? Is it Willoughby Kipler or Kiplin?
Yeah.
So get this. Grant Morrison wanted to use John Constantine for this. A British guy who knows magic and chain smokes and drinks. But DC said like, no, we don't want you to.
No, John Constantine takes on serious threats, not weird threats.
not weird threats.
John Constantine hangs out with Swamp Thing, the
Justice League,
the
and all that
Avatar
stuff.
of the
Yeah.
Green. He doesn't hang out with a bunch of loser freaks like.
So
the dude
Grant
in
Morrison was
Control.
like, all right, fine, I'll have to make my own British chain smoking magic user. And another fun fact: when another DC series called Stanley and His Monster was being written, the author for that wanted to use John Constantine, but he couldn't do that. Then he wanted to use Willoughby, couldn't get that for some reason. So he had to make up his own British chain smoking magic guy. I think his name's Ambrose, and he's just John Constantine with spikier hair.
I like that there's 3 John Constantines running around.
I know. I hope they all meet. I hope there's an issue where they all hang out.
I don't think there will be. But the book opens with Willoughby chain smoking in a hotel room and then getting attacked by Fear the Sky, which are three dudes who clearly have had their heads decapitated and replaced by planets.
The fear the sky, fear my ass.
Fear the sky, fear my arse.
Yeah. So what I love about the Cult of Unwritten Book is just that they don't send like agents, they send creatures out. And
They send freaks.
They send freaks, their own freaks. And each time you see a new one, Grant Morrison gives like
a backstory.
Grant Morrison gives a brief description of what they are, either the origin of what they are or what they do, or both. It's great. Like Fear the Sky, the Never Never Boys, which are like these little short people with gas masks that ride around in tricycles.
Those are the boys.
You got kites that are made out of the victims of murderers. Mystery kites, yeah.
So so there's a guy who has a book written on his skin.
Yep.
That the cult wants to decipher so that they can bring about the Unmaker, the
Decreator,
the Decreator, the shadow of God himself. And the Doom Patrol find out about this because Willoughby teleports into their place and is like, "Oi, what's up?" And they're like, "John Constantine," and he's like, "No,
it's Willoughby.
It's Willoughby."
Why is all British people we do sound like Alan Moore?
What do you mean? All of Alan Moore sounds like every British person. Every day, the human body loses 10 billion skin scales. Haven't you ever wondered what happens to all that dead skin? It doesn't just disappear, you know. Cult agents collect it. They also collect all the old love letters people throw away when love turns sour. And the cult pain surgeons put letters and skin flakes together. The resultant oddities are known as the Dry Bachelors.
The Dry Bachelors.
The Dry Bachelors.
These like weird,
so gross looking.
Yeah, these weird humanoid people with like paper for skin. Like,
no, they have dead skin cells for skin, and they have
gross.
They have their trench coats are made out of discarded love letters.
I would freak out if one of those things came to me at work.
Dude, I want you to call me the Dry Bachelor.
There's also the Pale Police, which are people who speak in anagrams, and they also put on they draw the thumbprint of their target onto their helmets, and then they put on the helmet because they believe that
they memorize the thumbprint first.
Yeah, they memorize the thumbprint and then paint it on their helmet
from memory.
From memory, because they believe that when they kill somebody with that thumbprint, they will be trapped in a maze of their own thumbprint.
Yep. And then there are the mystery kites.
The mystery kites.
They're made from the skins of specially selected murder victims stretched across bone frames. The souls of the victims, imprisoned by the occult geometry of the frames, become slaves of the cult.
See, it's I love it.
You always you always hear their voices first, like air raid sirens, and then you see them. The specters of delirium. The Never Never Boys.
The Never Never Boys.
Winkin', blinkin', and nod. That's me, you, and Tommy.
They don't send agents, they send weird creatures out. That's what I like about the cult.
Oh my god, the cult is so crazy. Meanwhile, so all of these creatures are attacking the guy who has the unwritten book on him.
They got it, and Willoughby, so they got to like.
Well, no, Willoughby is at Doom Patrol, basically being like, "We gotta go save this guy."
He was being assassinated.
Oh, he was trying to get assassinated. That's true. But the Dry Bachelors, the Never Never Boys, and the
Mystery Kites,
all go after the guy.
The kid who has the book written on him. So
that guy's running away. Willoughby's trying to convince the Doom Patrol to come help him, and then they eventually meet up with the kid to save him.
Yeah.
They fight Wilkin, Bilkin, and Boyd. They then talk about the Pale Police because the Pale Police is trying to kill Willoughby.
Willoughby, yeah, they're after Willoughby.
Yeah, where he writes the thing. He speaks. What does he speak in?
They speak in like anagrams, where it's like just the letters are like mixed around.
Yeah, if you mix the letters around, it's what they're actually saying.
Yeah, and Willoughby's the only one that can translate them somehow, which I love. I love some good wordplay in comics or in literature in general.
It makes my brain hurt.
Yeah, it hurts my brain reading it.
I don't even try to figure out what they're saying. Did you decipher everything they're saying?
Only the one words when they go.
Oh, you mean
pots? That means stop.
Yeah, pots means stop, and there's one where they I think they die, and they go. What did they say? this. They go, this.
Oh, because they're supposed to say shit.
Yeah, they're supposed to say shit.
They got away with it. This.
But yeah, so Willoughby and Rebus are trying to find the unwritten book boy. Crazy Jane and Robot Man are trying to also find.
Well, they're trying to. There's also another guy who.
Oh yeah.
Who acts as a portal.
Emilio, he's got a pussy on his hand.
Yeah, so all these creatures are coming out of this one guy because a portal appears on his hand, and it keeps growing the more creatures start coming out. He's becoming a hole to the Nirnheim, where
that's right. That's the city where the
cult. I'm going to call him the Brotherhood of the Unwritten Book.
The Brotherhood of the Unwritten Cult book.
The cult of the unwritten book.
The cult of the unwritten brother.
So I got to get to him before he turns into a giant vagina-shaped hole.
And so Robot Man is trying to find him.
Yeah, I remember there's a point where Willoughby and Rebus go do their own thing.
Yep.
Crazy Jane protects the kid, and Robot Man goes stop the vagina hole.
Yeah. And while Crazy Jane is watching the dude, they're drawn from the ranks of children who refuse to grow up. The cult spirits them away to Nirnheim, where they are subjected to secret disfigurements, which prolong childhood indefinitely. Very quickly, they realize that staying young is not all it's cracked up to be. But by that time, it's too late. And that's when they want to start sharing their agony. That's the nuns.
There's a name for them, right?
I don't remember.
Let me see that. I know they said it somewhere.
It's the Little Sisters of Our Lady the Razor.
The Little Sisters of Our Lady
the
Razor. Can you imagine playing a Doom Patrol Legends game and you're fighting these creatures?
I wouldn't want to. They're scary.
They are scary.
They're all scary. I don't like them.
If you all don't know X-Men Legends, that's what I was referencing.
X-Men Legends, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Doom Patrol, the video game. Me and Eric are working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it.
We're actually we gave up on Injustice 3, and now we're just gonna make a Doom Patrol video game.
I'd rather have
isometric beat 'em up.
I like that. Oh my god, they need to bring those back.
Isometric beat 'em ups.
Yeah,
they do. But the
Cliff fell into the vagina portal.
Cliff falls into the vagina portal that Emilio is turning into.
He becomes the full portal, the full vagina portal. I keep calling it that because it's shaped like
Jane loses the book, and then Willoughby and Rebus come back to Jane, and he's like, "Dude, I left you for 10 minutes. You lost him."
Yeah.
And then the cult reads the book, and the Unmaker,
the Decreator. It's like a giant eye in the sky that everything it looks at, it disappears.
Yep.
It becomes uncreated.
A punk loses his. There's words just disappearing from a novel. A punk guitarist loses his guitar. A guy who is about to commit suicide loses all of his razor blades.
Everyone's
the
in
bus
this room.
never shows up at a bus stop. And then Willoughby's cigarettes get disappeared.
Oh, of all the things, Willoughby's cigarettes get disappeared. And somewhere in the same world, John Constantine's cigarettes disappear.
That's not true. And then we cut to Robot Man, who's stuck in Nirnheim.
Oh yeah, he's going to talk to the leaders of the cult.
Where he meets Hoodman Blind and Hoodman Shame.
Blind and Shame. That's me and you if we were cult members.
That's me and you, dude. Come with us. Come with us.
Come with. That's me. I just repeat everything you say.
They take them to the leader of Nirnheim, which is this big puppet guy.
These two puppets that control their own puppets. Weird.
I don't like them. They scared me.
They are scary.
They scared me.
I don't like them either.
And they also, the rest of the Doom Patrol shows up too, right?
I forgot what they do. You gotta find me that page, but they had to do something where
Crazy Jane does her Crazy Jane thing, where she turns into a personality who knows how to solve everything.
Dang it! I hate how that's how it works sometimes.
I don't mind it, because if you pay attention, we're explaining it bad, but Crazy Jane has a personality that can decipher puzzles.
Oh yeah,
and solve riddles. And every fight
is it that same personality? Or?
I think so.
Okay.
Pretty much every fight they have, there's a puzzle, and she has to solve it. There's also, I think, a personality that knows magic, and it might be the same personality.
They had to do some kind of frequency send a frequency at
That's
it.
right, because the decreator was a frequency, and they sent a reverse frequency to cancel it out.
But they didn't cancel it out. But
They just made it real slow.
They just made it really, really slow. So things are just going to keep disappearing on this earth, but at a very slow pace.
and not even noticeable.
And I think it's funny how like the very last panel is just Coulter like, where's my pen? I thought I had a
Oh,
pen.
dang it! I lost my pen.
That's
Makes
kind
me-
of sad.
That's scary, dude.
It means that's canon right now in the DC universe that eye is still in the sky.
Nah, I feel like there's been some crisis events that have reset that.
Okay, fine.
You think so?
Right now I think no. Until I finish Infinite Crisis and get to DC Rebirth.
Yep. And then,
The Mala and Brain chapter.
yep.
I like this part because like they had Calder had to take Cliff's brain out of the new body because he hates that new body so much. Faulty everything. This thing is poorly made.
I don't even think it was.
I don't think it was either, Calder.
I think Calder's just a bitch.
I think
He's a hater.
yeah. Doom. The chief just wanted to make his own body.
Next time I see Dr. Magnus, I intend to tell him exactly what I think of his work. Why should I have to step in and correct his idiotic mistakes? Haven't I enough on my mind? I suppose I'll have to build a new body for Cliff myself.
Chief.
This piece of scrap is little more than a temporary job.
Chief.
Chief.
He can feel things now. He can smell.
He can hear you.
I think Magnus has a little camera in there.
Chief, he can smell how salty you are.
All right. So in this issue, Cliff is left.
Cliff's body comes to life.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, that's right.
His body comes to life and then like drills a hole in his tank and is like, "You're gonna die. And
I'm gonna keep
be
living
you now."
I'm gonna be. Oh my god, isn't that scary?
He's like, "Shall we talk?"
So as the fluid from Cliff's brain jar is leaking,
Mm-hmm.
you get your own body telling you that he's gonna take over your place.
Yep.
That's so scary.
Meanwhile, Mala and
Mala
Bray,
and the Brain, which is they haven't appeared in a Doom Patrol issue since like
presumed dead.
well they've been in yeah they probably presumed dead, but
I
they
thought
also
they
been
exploded on that one time.
in the last time they were in a Doom Patrol issue was they got exploded by Madame Rouge.
Yeah, and the last time they were in a
But
comic book,
in between that, it was they were Teen Titan villains because Beast
Okay.
Boy was in the team at the time.
of course, Plato was the first to make the distinction. He maintained that the body was simply a vehicle for the mind. Mala, I know all that. They're just like talking about Plato and stuff like that, and then Mala's sticking his gum on the Brain's jar.
Got to keep it safe somewhere.
God, they're just walking around this. They're just walking
Oh, yeah,
around
he's pushing-
Rhode Island.
Yeah, he's pushing the Brain in a berry carriage.
It's a gorilla with a tank top that says "Drop the bomb."
Does he have a red beret? He's a red
with
beret.
a red beret with a machine gun strapped to his back, pushing around a baby stroller, and inside the baby stroller is the Brain. It's a fun little issue where they go over the history of how the Brain caught Mala and initially was going to put his brain in Mala's body, but then just like raised Mala as his own, and taught him how to be smart and stuff, and he was really proud of him. And then he didn't want to take him over at all. And they're just kind of walking over to the Doom Patrol's headquarters all casually, and they get there and they fucking stop Robot Man's body.
Yeah, Mala and Robot Man's body has a fight, and this is my favorite part is when during the fight. Yeah, this is what I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
Mala he's like
Brain versus Brain.
right there. What do you say? Ah, master, I see that you too crave action. Do not fear. I will show you action such as you have never seen before. Brain versus Brain. He fucking throws the brain at Cliff. Mala, for God's sakes, what are you doing? And it knocks fucking Cliff, and now there's just two brains on the table.
Chatting.
Robot Man, is that you? Isn't it? Hated enemy. At last we are face to face in open combat. And all Robot Man says is, this is ridiculous.
Robot Man's like, God damn it, dude. This day can't get any
This
weirder.
day can't get any weirder. But Mala defeats the body because he's the man.
Yep.
And he
puts the brain.
successfully puts the brain in the Robot Man's body. But they didn't know this, but Robot Man's body purposely altered his body to where if anyone else puts a brain inside, he will explode.
Yeah.
So that was his failsafe in
Yeah.
case.
But before that failsafe goes off,
Mala
with
and
brain
Brain.
in a body that has feelings and can feel and they confess the love that they have for each
The
other.
Brain confesses the love. This
They're
is
in
so
love.
romantic.
They're gay lovers.
It's so romantic.
And as soon as they go to kiss, then the body explodes and kills
then
Mala.
they explode. It's so
dumb.
It's so romantic. What a great story.
It's so romantic and it's so dumb.
I think this
love
is
it
one
so
of the first gay relationships in DC Comics.
I was reading this and I was like, ooh, yeah, I can't wait for there to be a bunch of Brain and Mala stories. Oh, yeah, Brain and Mala are back. They're going to be villains. They're like main villains of the Doom Patrol. Oh, man, they're going to get their revenge on Calder. They're going to do so many schemes. They blow up in the first... Nobody even knows they're back except for Robot Man. Could you imagine being a Robot Man explaining to the chief what happened to you?
He can't even see what happens, too, because the brain's in a jar.
God.
Oh, not the brain. Robot Man's in a jar.
You're
so he
right.
Can't even see what's
can
happening.
Only hear.
Yeah. He's like, oh, God, can someone please tell me what's going on out there as freaking Mala's beret lands on his brain jar? Jesus. Someone? Anyone? Oh, well. Knock, knock. Who's there? I like that's how Cliff talks to himself in his brain. But that's the end of book 1.
End of book 1. Doom Patrol by Grant Morrison.
I
give it 14 stars out of 5.
I give it 10 dry bachelors out of 10.
Don't.
Do you remember those creatures?
Don't bring those guys up.
They're made out of your skin cells.
I don't want them
and
to be.
your discarded love
Dude,
papers.
fucking the Cult of the Unwritten Book probably made all the creatures on Planet Zero too.
Oh my God, is that why they're all they're running around?
They're all freaks.
Mystery kites flying
The
around.
Dry Bachelors and the Never Never Boys sound like things we would have encountered on Planet Zero by now.
It's the Never Never.
Oh no, it's Wilkin and Wilkin.
Just a bunch of small people in like gas masks riding on tricycles. I probably shit my pants.
I probably pooped my pants.
Well, that was a good run. We're gonna go over book 2 probably next time.
We'll start our book 2 deep dive. Next week we won't be releasing an episode.
Sadly.
Or we might, or we won't. But we'll keep you updated. Me and Eric are going out of town. We're gonna visit the capital of planet Earth, Washington, D.C.
Yeah, the capital of Earth.
I think that's where.
Yeah, I think-
every movie I've ever seen about Earth, when they say "Take me to your leader," they take them to Washington, D.C. So I guess
We're
that's
gonna
where
see,
the
I
leader
guess,
is.
I hope we see their leader.
I hope I see the leader with his big green pickle head.
You think he'll let me? Do you think he'll sign my copy of Swamp Thing?
No,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
But anyways, denizens, you've sat with us through another episode of Book Club from Planet Zero.
Congratulations.
Next time, Eric loses his spleen, the creature gets a robot body, and the Meecher finally gets her revenge on the train.
Oh my God.
Follow us on Instagram at Book Club from Planet Zero. Give us a follow on YouTube. Go check out our other podcasts there at Planet Zero Productions. Support the Patreon if you can. It helps us out a ton. And, shoot us a suggestion for what books we should be reading. Right now, we're just going to be reading Doom Patrol until something else pops
Yeah,
up.
don't
Doom
tell
Patrol's so
us
good.
to read. Don't tell us to read something bad. All right.
Tell us to read something. No, good.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, Eric signing off.
Christian signing off right now.